everybody's doing well. And for, let's see, I think I'm on the wrong chart here, but let me, I think I'm on the wrong screen. I'm just going to double check to make sure. Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm gonna switch my screens because this one is not the correct one. I'm going to take this one over, bring this one over. This is the one I really want to be on. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to go, I'm on the NAS. All right, so I want to take a look at the news for today. So we had no red news today. Okay, we did have new home sales and consumer confidence, Richmond Manufacturing Index, and FOMC members speaking, HPI, SP, S&P, all kinds of stuff, but no red news today in the U.S. anyways. All right, so let's take a look at the dollar index, US dollar, versus the euro US dollar. And they're always going opposite to each other, as you can see. I always call it a Mandelbrot. It looks like a Mandelbrot pattern. So we've had a weak, we have a weak US dollar overall. So looking for it to continue going down, taking out these lows. The euro US dollar looks strong. We're bouncing off this gap, looking for that to continue up if this works and continues down on the US dollar. So overall, a weak US dollar. So all the major currencies, Aussie, US dollar. I'm going to go to the hourly here. Let me get rid of all this stuff off the chart. So Aussie US dollar would be, since the US dollar is weak, which should have a little bit of strength to it. It did, but now it's trying again to go. So I would be expecting some kind of a bounce here to continue on the Aussie. We looked at the euro, and that is trying to bounce back to the upside. GBP USD would be similar, and GBP USD has lots of strength in it. Okay. And New Zealand USD should be pushing to the upside as well, trying. And USD CAD should be weak, and it's semi-weak. You can see it was quite weak, big bounce, but looking to fall again. USD Swiss should be weak. It is rather weak. USD JPY should be weak, and it is. Okay. Looking at some of the stocks like Tesla, lots of strength this morning. We opened up quite buoyantly and went up. Oh, that was from yesterday, actually. So let me go down a little lower on the time frame. Okay, so that was yesterday. So today, 9:30, we actually opened up weak. So we opened strong, sorry, but then we dropped, and now it's struggling, trying to make it back up there again. Does it have enough to get up there is the question. Let's see the 5-minute on Tesla. So I can see the pattern quite clearly. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 5th and final wave. We've broken that high. So we could be in an area where we could turn around and come back down. So we'll watch for that. It is possible that they could go and take out the high again, though. So there's 2 scenarios possible here, but we also could be close to being done here too. What else do we have here? NVIDIA. Let me go to the hourly on NVIDIA. NVIDIA trying to push back. Trying to get back up there. MicroStrategy pushing up nicely. Microsoft also pushing up nicely. Meta, very strong. Google, very strong. IBM, strong. So all these, the indices are really buoying the stocks, but might be in for a turn here, eh? So looking pretty good. What else do I have? Amazon is very strong as well. Apple, also very strong. All these are quite strong. So it looks like they still have a little bit more push. So perhaps we're correct there, George. The indices should push up a little further here. Let's see how Bitcoin looks in comparison. And Bitcoin is strong as well. So looking also to take out these highs up here. I didn't check gold. Let me check gold and silver and oil. So gold is, silver is strong. Oil is weak, and gold is strong. Semi-strong. It's struggling, eh? A little bit of a struggle here. So looks like we could have further downside on gold. Looks like maybe they might be coming down this way, taking on all these guys. Wow. So if that's setting up for a 1-2 here, that would be quite a drop. So we've had it done that. We've seen it do that a number of times here. Boom. Then they did it again here. Boom. And now they're doing it again here. So we could expect another drop here. All right. So back to Tesla. So Tesla, go down to the 15, lower on the 5. So looking, like I say, pretty good for a possible turnaround at this point, or a more continuation. But it's looking like it wants to turn. Let's see how the NAS looks.
Do you see a 1, 2, 3 top on the 1 minute chart, Tesla?
Let's see Tesla here, 1 minute. So, all right. So looking at the entire run from down here.
Wave 5 is complete, so.
One, two, another 3, 4. Right. Yeah, this could be a move back down. Yes, it's possible. It could also, we could also see another run for these highs. So we're kind of in a little bit of a limbo, because in here, this was our first change of character here. So this we constitute as our first wave. This is an odd one, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this. So we would kind of think that we would go up one more time here. That would be the likely scenario. I would think.
Okay.
I wouldn't see us coming straight down right away. It's possible, of course, but so we'd have to break this low here in order for us to see something, you know, like that. But
I have a question later on for you on Tesla when you have time.
No problem. Go ahead. You can ask it.
Okay, can I show my screen?
Sure.
Start sharing and go on my chart. Okay, so here's my analysis of what happened. I'm on the 1 minute chart, and this is what happened yesterday. We had a rise up in price, going sideways in the form of wave 4.
Sorry, Peter. May I just suggest something?
Yeah.
Okay, you're seeing it fine for yourself, but when you show it, it's very tiny for us.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to consider shrinking down your indicators and giving us more chart. You know what I mean? Just you don't have to kill them. Just
okay.
I mean,
There they go. Is that better?
Yeah, and then giving us more, making it bigger so that we can see what you're referring to. Yeah, because it's very tiny. I
Yeah,
don't know if
well,
anybody else agrees with that or just me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how to make it bigger.
Keep increasing the size. In the top right-hand corner there of the chart, right there, can that, yeah, if you hit that, does that make it bigger? Or is that making it smaller? Okay, that made it smaller. Okay, there you go. That's the largest size. So you can increase the candle size by rolling your mouse.
By what?
The mouse wheel.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
oh, okay. Oh, I'm learning something new every day.
Indeed. So now we can see. Okay.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, if you need to see the bigger picture, you can make it smaller, of course, right?
Yeah, I can see why you're a teacher. So yesterday we had a rise in price, and let me see if I can show on. Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Yeah. Okay. So. Let me go to the 5-minute then. Now I can't get it back to.
Just roll your mouse.
Yeah. Oh, I'm scrolling my mouse. Okay. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay, I get it. Okay, so let's go back. Let's stay on the 5-minute chart. So yesterday we had a nice run up in price. I caught this run up in price, and then I realized that we were going into wave 4. You usually get after a run up in price, you usually go into wave 4. So we went into wave 4, and what I was waiting for was what you taught us in this lesson yesterday. We had a series of 1, 2, 3s in here in wave 4 that eventually culminated in a rise in price. This is leg 2. Leg 1 up. Like before I knew Elliott Wave, thanks to you, I was talking about patterns. So this is leg 1 up, price equilibrium or consolidation, leg 2 up. So in your terminology, it's 1, 2, 3. It's wave 3 up, wave 4, and wave 5 up. So we finally got the break up to wave 5 yesterday after a series of 1, 2, 3s in wave 4. And then, so that was wave 5. So then we had today 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, 1, 2, 3 up to 3, across to 4, and then up to 5. And I think we're done. Let's see if we're done or not. We might be done.
Mm-hmm.
We might be done with. That might be a 1, 2, 3 top. I don't know. But the question, to make a fat story thin, my question is, after wave 5, I thought that we would have an ABC correction. So there's wave 5 yesterday, and I was looking for an A, B, C down. Maybe I'm not understanding Elliott Wave correctly, but anyway, I did make $1,000 today between well, in and amongst all this price activity, I grabbed $1,000. Let me see if I can explain. It's hard to explain where I went long and short, but anyway, just take my word for it. You can see that I draw a lot of trend lines on here. They really do help me understand where the heck we are. For example, if I can go to the 1-minute chart, you can see right here, I had a resistance or distribution trend line right here. We had a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3, a break of this 1, 2, 3 right here. I went long and grabbed this run here. So these trend lines are really really, really helpful. For example, if we focus in on this trend line, we have a break of this trend line. This is a demand trend line. And we have a resistance trend line forming a triangle. Price is broken out of the triangle south. So this could be a 1, 2, 3 top, price going down. I could be wrong. Let's just see what MACD is saying to us. MACD is trending down to the water line, which is telling me anyway that we're going down. It looks like we hit wave 5 up here on Tesla, 1, 2, 3, and it looks like we're on our way down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you agree or disagree.
Looks so.
But my original question was, after we did wave 5 yesterday, I thought we were going to get an ABC, and I don't know if we're going to get it or did get it or whatever.
Okay, I'll explain that.
Okay, so I'm done. Thank you for the time.
Okay, no problem. Could you put, before you just go there, Peter, could you put that chart you had up over the Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A and a B and a C leg. You just have them as straight lines, of course, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking for an A, B, and a C. Okay, so let me take the screen now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let me share screen again. All right, so I need to go to Tesla. Let me know if you can see me.
Yes.
All right, so that was, we can look at it on the 5-minute, I think. Yes, okay, so there we go. All right, so if we say this is our number 5 point in the move, and for argument's sake, this was our 4, then the drop here would be our A, and then the move to the upside, wherever we stop, would be our B. And then we're looking for the C leg to come down to take out A.
Oh, I see that now.
So that's basically what it is. So it's not just, a straight line, right? You've got it like a straight line with A here, and B and C, but it's doing stuff. It's doing, the structure, and the A leg here is, when we look at the A leg, closely. So we had this drop down to, the B leg, I should say, the B leg. The B leg here consists of an ABC construct. And the A leg coming down also consists of an ABC construct. The C leg does not. It consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So that's why we get that big, huge move down. So these are ABCs. So this would be like an ABC here, something like that. This is also would be an ABC here. This is an ABC here, and this one will become a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move down. And we're just starting that first wave. Now we're starting into the third wave. So we're just starting the first wave, but we're in the first wave of the first wave, if that makes sense. See?
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Yeah.
So here would be, we're coming down to come to this level and make a 1, 2, 3 like that. And we've got a 1, 2 now, 3, 4, 5, something like that, A, B, C, and then we'd be coming down again. So that's what it would kind of look like. So these are all like ABCs. They're all ABCs in here. ABC.
Yeah, got it.
So it's once you start to understand that, then you it makes a lot of sense. But to most people who don't understand it, it doesn't make any sense, of course, right? It's all nonsense.
Yeah, I honestly, Lennox, I don't understand how you can trade successfully without knowing Elliott wave. It's impossible.
Well, I see, I watch a lot of people on YouTube trading and so forth, and there are a lot of great traders out there who do not use Elliott wave and so forth. So It is possible, but yeah, we have a little edge, I think. Just a little. I mean, ICT for one, of course, he debunks Elliott wave, and I can understand what he's saying, what he's looking for, and so forth. He's basing everything on time, and yeah, it works very well. What he does, but I can see the Elliott wave structure in those time elements. So I still hold to the Elliott wave. All right, so that's a nice 1, 2, 3 top there. So on the 1 minute time frame, that would have been a great buy or sell at this point here.
Or
right
on a trend line.
Right back into a gap. That was perfect. There's the sweep. So very nice move there. So we change of character here now. So we would be looking for another retrace back up to continue down. And that would give us our 5 waves. That would give us our 5 waves. So that's what we're looking at. So NAS should be turning back now. Oh yeah, it is. So George, like we were saying originally, that it was possible that that the NAS might not break that high.
Yeah, it made it to 141%, and I decided to be a piggy and not take it off.
Yeah, you can see S&P. So we looked at this at first there, Peter. What we noticed here, right here, we had divergence with the NAS. S&P divergence right there. I'll switch back over to NAS. So you can see clearly that they diverted here. And so on the NAS, we get a nice 1, 2, 3 right there. We go up. This looks like this should be our 4. And then we would be expecting to take out the high, but they're falling short of it here. Interesting, which they can do. And on the S&P, and I'll leave that drawing on, you can see it's similar pattern, except that we had divergence here. And so the 1, 2 is not here on this side, it's on this side. So it's like that. And then we get the 3. But they come all the way back down into this area here of the first 1, 2. So it's very, you don't want to see that. And now they have a harder time climbing back up because they've come back down so far. So this is one of the things I was talking about, where if you get a big pullback, the chances of them coming back to take out the high is much harder. It's the probability decreases the further they pull back. So this is one of those times. So looking like we'll more than likely do this now.
Pullback is into like the 60% area. So
yeah,
it's going to turn now or what?
Well, the giveaway here was that we came back so far into this area here.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing. So the difference on the NAS is quite pronounced. You can see how the NAS, we did not come back into this area, and yet they still couldn't push back to take out the high. So that's quite interesting. That gives us quite the drop here now. So if I went to the 1 minute and look at this, right at these 2 candles at the top, we should have a change of character there. That would be like a simple one, small one, but here's the main change of character right there, because this was the last down before the up, and now we should be getting a retrace to continue, something like that. So this would be a good sell if we can come back up into this gap on a retrace. But to get in on this move here, you have to just use the fractal. So we've got a high and 2 lower highs. Once we break that, that's a fractal. That's a 1, 2, 3 top at that moment in time on that fractal to come down. So I like these entries because my risk is so tiny. Whereas if I wait for this entire move and wait for a retrace back in, yes, I can get in, but now my risk can become quite high, because where do I put my stop to be safe? You know, technically speaking, your stop should be above the candle that makes the start of the gap. So right there. So that's reasonable if we could get it. Say we got an entry here, or even at the beginning of the gap. If we got an entry in here, then your risk is, you know, that much here, right? Something like that. Your risk would be that much there. So it's not too bad, but you can see the beauty of getting in at this point. You know, your risk is very tiny in comparison. So let's see if we get a retrace back up into this gap for a sell opportunity here. So Tesla would be doing similar. It should be retracing back up into some kind of a gap up here. Let's see if there is one. There's one here, but that's a bit too low. So we want to retrace back about 50%. So 50% is right here. There are gaps on this side. So I can use a gap over here, for example, around the 50% level. There's one here. This is a regular gap, and this is a gap. So I could use, say, something like that. This would be an inverted gap now, because it was going up at first. So right around the 50% mark, like that. So price can come back up.
So then we'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3 top.
I'd be looking for price just to come back into this area, and you can certainly then look for a 1, 2, 3 top, or just a fractal at that point to get in, something like that, to come back down. There's no guarantee we're going to go all the way back up there, of course.
No, it doesn't really look like it at this point. Yeah.
There is a gap here, but this is a gap that is. The reason I'm ignoring this gap is because it's below 50%. I'd like to see them retrace 50% or higher in order to make an entry to go short. I don't want to be taking a trade from here, because if you jump in at this point, they can still push it back up to here, and then now you're in trouble. So what we want to see is price. Is the chart, the pattern, our pattern. We want to see, you know, 5 waves up. So we've got 1, 2. So we would look for another leg higher here.
Looks like we're pretty close to turning around on the NAS. It's got 100% retrace of that up.
Yeah, they've broken that low. Wow. So can we come back up into this gap? So again, looking for about a 50% retrace of this entire move would put us right up at the gap. And you have to keep.
It's not quite ready for it yet.
Not ready yet. Nope. Let's see how S&P is just tanking as well. Well.
I'm not seeing any news around that would push things. But we should be at a turning point pretty soon, I would think.
Okay, so they actually came down one more time and broke the low, yeah, or tied it. Yeah, it looks like a tie maybe. Let's see, 277 even. Nope, they broke it by a point. So this is the new low. So we could now get another push back up to 50%. So what they're doing here is they're doing like 1, 2, 3, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they just broke this by a tick. So we could still expect that move back up.
The ECB spoke about 30 minutes ago, George. Maybe that might be it.
Oh, okay. I think we had something from Great Britain. I wasn't really sure that it's relevant.
Just noticed that gold is starting to collapse here. So you can see gold on the 5 minute. We got a beautiful 1, 2, 3 top, and then they dropped it and chopped it. And now they're looking to come and take out the low. And that'll give us our structure. So we're at 130.
Yep.
Could trade this back to the upside, but it's a tough one because I'm not sure how far up they're really going to go here with this.
Well, we should get a good number of handles up at this point. It hasn't quite turned. It's sort of in a flattening stage right now. So we're consolidating, shall we say.
So with Tesla, we have a clean 1, 2, 3, and they're moving back up. So we would look for 5 waves.
Getting a 1, 2, 3 on NAS also right now, except that Tesla seems to be ahead of the game.
So this is almost similar to what we looked at on gold. That nice 1, 2, 3 top. They drop it, so they'll chop it a little bit in here, and then drop again. So they're coming right up into 50%. This is why I don't like to play this move. It could, it's a retrace. You're not going to get very much from it. So
Yeah,
at least you wouldn't
just
expect
trying it now to pull it up.
So now we have 1, 2. So would kind of expect a possible another move like that. And there is an order block here. So we could come and touch that order block before we continue down. Something like that. So again, for those out on YouTube who are watching us, glad that you can join us. And this is all for educational purposes only. We're not giving any advice on how to enter and exit trades and so forth. Although we do it, we do it all just for fun here. All right. We're looking for our 1, 2, 3 setups. Our 1, 2, 3 basically is this pattern. There it is there. There it is here. So it occurs at end of moves in particular. We get 1, 2, 3s. Sometimes it's difficult to see it. Sometimes it's quite evident. And if you can see it clearly, that's the best ones. Those are the best ones. You can see it quite clearly. That's great. And looking for that kind of entry at this point to take a move to the upside. So that's why we call it the simple 1, 2, 3. It's a simple concept, not an easy thing to trade, however. So we didn't call it easy 1, 2, 3, because there's nothing easy about trading. All right, so this gap here was null and void because we wasn't expecting to use this gap. We want to be above 50% of this entire move to this low. So if you want to enter the trade to go short, we want to see a move above 50% ideally. And this gives us our structure 1, 2, 3, 4, and we want one more move up. And then we'd be looking for a 1, 2, 3 at this point now to come back down. And that actually would give us a head and shoulders type pattern. And that's essentially what we're looking for most of the time, is that head and shoulders pattern. There's head and shoulders, the sweep to the left, and then they take it down. So will we get another push above? That's what we would expect here. Let's see.
Yeah, it's still in a consolidation mode.
Yeah, NAS is struggling a little bit there. S&P also struggling a little bit. So looking for them to come back up above 50% as well. They might not do it, so there's no guarantee that they will. So we do have, at this point, we do have a 1, 2, 3 here, another 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we should be able to get up there. This is our first gap right here. So can we get back up there?
The gap is pretty high.
Yeah, it's above 50%.
Yeah, that's at my 141%. And
there is an inverted gap just below and just above the 50% mark. So there's one right there, and that's a possible point that they might enter. Right there.
We're in pretty much of a consolidation mode right now.
Yeah, at 1:30 in the afternoon in New York, lunch is just over. So yeah, we can get some consolidation here for sure, right? Before they start moving price again. So we'll see how the macro reacts at 10 minutes to the hour, and then how we're kind of looking for the algo to start moving price after 2 o'clock. So between 1:30 and 2 is kind of a lull period as the traders all come back from finishing up lunch, usually. So we'll see how this works out here. And let me remove this from the screen.
I have a slide to show how to draw trend lines if you want to work that in at any point.
Sure, go ahead, Peter.
Okay, let me do that now.
Market's in the lull right now, so.
Okay, let me go to there and share my screen. Start sharing. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so to make a fat story thin, it's very easy to draw demand trend lines. You basically draw it from the most recent swing low or cycle low back and down to the last most recent swing low or cycle low, and then project it out into the future. This is a demand or support trend line denoting buying pressure, okay? And then conversely, to show selling pressure, what you do is you connect the most recent swing high or cycle high back to the last most recent swing high or cycle high, project that line out into the future, and you have selling pressure, okay? I like to draw these lines because at any point in time, I know if I'm dealing with selling pressure or buying pressure or selling pressure, and it just helps me figure out where price is going. So that's it, Lance.
Okay, that's what is that kind of? It's a PowerPoint file.
Yes.
Could you just roll your screen up a tad so we can see the top of it? There we go. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of that, Peter, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no,
or you could post it into the room if you.
This is courtesy Tom DeMark. I learned this from his book, New Science of Technical Analysis. I wouldn't recommend you buy the book because basically what I've explained right here is exactly what he says in his book in 10 words or less. So it's very helpful to draw trend lines as far as I'm concerned. And he's the only guy that knows how to draw trend lines from what I can tell. Are you done, Lennox?
No, I'm not, because my screen was not ready. So give me 1 sec. Here, I think it should be ready now. Give me a second here. It's just almost there. All right, 1 sec. I'm going to grab it now. And I am done now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, you can have the screen back now. Thanks.
Okay.
It looks like we retraced almost 50% on Tesla.
Okay. No. Start sharing again. Okay, so let me go back down to a lower time frame here. So the NAS is still struggling to retrace. S&P still struggling, doing a little better. Tesla has retraced as we expected. That's what we would expect. We want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So now we have a new 1, 2, 3 right here. So it is possible for them to go one more time. You see? So that is a possibility for them to do that one more time. However, again, not necessary for them to do it, but we could expect it. Anytime you get a 1, 2, 3, you can always look for a possible one more swing. So that's how they fool you sometimes. If they break this low, which they look like they're going to do, then that's all null and void. So it looks like that's our entire structure now, and we would be looking for a 1, 2, 3 to come down. So drawing your trend lines that what Peter was just referring to, if I were to draw trend lines at this point, here's my trend line right there. The trend high would be from the most recent swing high on the left side here. So I have to find one, and the only one is this one. So that would be the most recent swing high. And then this recent swing low would be this one, like that.
Yeah, you got it.
So that's what he was referring to, the swing. So we want to see a breach of this line here, and I think it said 2 or 3 candles to be sure, right? But you can do it on a closure below the trend line.
A break of the trend line, yeah.
Yeah, break of a trend line. You can wait for a closure below, because it's best to wait for the candle to close, because this can still come back up, you know. So I think closure of the current candle is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, one of the advantages of drawing trend lines like this is you've now formed a triangle, a negative triangle, which means what we're looking for is for price to come out of that triangle and head down, either through the apex or just by breaking that lower trend line.
Right. So now we've broken it and closed below it. So that would constitute a sell opportunity right there on Tesla. Now that's one way of looking at it, and you can also wait for a 1, 2, 3, something like that, where they come, or they could even come down a little lower, come back to the trend line, and then you could catch the move like that. So there are a couple of ways of doing it. So in this case here, because I have an inverted gap right there, very tiny one, mind you, but it is. So that would constitute a sell if we touch that trend line, that inverted gap, I should say, right there. So there we are touching it. So that would be a sell on Tesla at that point. Stop would be above the high. Now, are they going to go and take out that high? Maybe.
Or they might be forming a 1, 2, 3 top.
So we've got a 1, 2, 3 right now formed. So confirmation of the 1, 2, 3 is a breach of that low. So that looks like a pretty good sell on Tesla at that point. Yeah, I could sell it there. Let's just sell one. Sell 500 shares of Tesla. Don't usually play Tesla, but my stop above the high. So my risk is very, very small. And I could do a TP at the lows or even lower if I can find a different, let's see what number. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 top. So I would be looking for price to come back down to the low here. Let's just put it at that one. So that would make a nice little play if we get there. Have fun. Let's see how NAS is doing. So NAS is still struggling a little bit.
NAS is struggling.
Yeah, they just can't push it up there at all, eh? So it's very much a very, remember yesterday what I was saying was that overall, we're in this huge fourth wave. and that I was looking for a price to do that, get up in that area, and to turn, and I would be looking for them to come back down, taking out all these lows. So similar to what gold is doing, and what I showed you on gold, we looked at gold and it was just chopping, and they chop it and bring it all the way back up, but the eventual goal is to bring it back down, taking out all the lows. So it's a similar setup on NAS, and Tesla would be similar as well, S&P and so forth. So what's going to constitute this big drop? I don't know what the trigger is going to be, but something not nice is going to happen here, it looks like. So we would look at it in this way as a 1-2 here, and then 3-4, something like that, down, back up, and then a continuation. This would be our first wave here. So that's kind of how I see it. Again, I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong and they're going to continue going up, then we wouldn't break this low. Of course, we would just come back into this area here and continue going up. But I don't really see that happening. That's a possibility, of course, but a higher probability is my first analysis.
Looks like the probability is more to the downside at this point.
Mm-hmm. So back to the number one. So yeah. So can they go back up again and take out these highs? Yeah, that's possible, I suppose. Possible, but probably not. So on the S&P, you can see we have a 1, 2, 3 right here. We're starting to move down. They're battling a little bit here.
It's a battle. I'm not anxious to make a move at this point.
Oh, we got a 1, 2 here. So now we have a break of structure. We had a retrace back. So that would have been a good sell right there on the NAS, actually. That's a bit fast.
Yeah, actually, I just turned my head and boy, it went the other way.
We're looking for them to take out this low. It's slow motion. All right, we're into the macro right now at 10 minutes to just ticked over right here. So the macro is in effect till 10 minutes after. But at 11 or at 2 Eastern, we also have the algo that kicks in. So looking for the algo to take us down further here. So they've given us an opportunity to get into the NAS right now. However, we are sliding in a sideways type motion, so this is kind of a tough area because they can do all kinds of stuff in here and mess you up. So
Yeah.
I don't like it for an entry at this point. So I'll wait that one out. Yes, they could certainly just bring it straight down, but there's no guarantee here because we are chopping chopping up and down here. So they could come back up, take out these highs. They could do all kinds of stuff in here. So.
Looks like the nullified our 1, 2, 3 top.
On Tesla. Yeah. I gave it a little bit more room there for the stop. So it looks like they want to take that high out. Interesting. That's what that was a possibility that they could take that out. It didn't look like they were going to after all, but now they turned right back to go and to try and look for that high. So I could be in jeopardy there at my stop. So I'm just above I'm going to just put it just above the order block, just to give it a little bit more room above the order block. Let's see if that would be a worthwhile stoppage point. So they could take out that high right here and then come down, but so we have a new trend line. And this one would move from up here now because the most recent high is right here. So now that moves. So our triangle becomes a little tighter. These ones would move as well. So this would become that one there and that one there. Wow. So very tight. So this inverted gap still a bit in play, but not really. So we're still looking for them to drop this thing. Let's go back to the NAS again. So they're not taking out the highs. Yeah, S&P is much weaker. You see the difference. So S&P looks like they're going to go and take those lows out pretty quickly here, maybe.
We have a double top on the 1 minute Tesla.
So they're going for those equal lows here. So we're 1 minute away from, less than a minute from the algo time. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, the algo is an ICT theory, concept theory, that price is moving algorithmically at all times, and that at specific times the algorithm kicks in, and one of those times is at 2 o'clock, and you're looking for a specific setup to occur between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So it's only a 1 hour period of time. So between 2 and 3, between 2 and 3 Eastern, and also between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. So this is a.m. and this is p.m. And also I think it's 3 a.m. in the evening and 4 a.m. I believe that's correct. Yeah, which is the 3 a.m. is London Open, I think. Yeah, something like that. That an algorithm occurs, and it's the algorithm essentially. It starts off with a gap of some kind. So only after 2 o'clock though. So after 2 o'clock, you're looking for the first gap, and from there you can take that to play out in a nice run. That's the theory of it anyway. So the difference between the algo and the macro is also an algorithm, but it's a smaller subset of an algorithm, essentially, and that runs at 10 minutes to each hour, 10 to every hour, until 10 after. So it's a 20-minute algorithm. He also talks about a macro that runs, the only one he talks about that runs from 3:15. So from 3:15, 3:15 to 3:45 each day. There's a macro that runs. So macro at 10 to the hour and 3:15 to 3:45. Just before the close of the market, there's a macros that run. I don't usually talk much about this one because most of the time this between 3:15 and 3:45 is kind of a lull in the market. You don't see much action. But right at 10 to the hour, especially the last hour, is one of the most dynamic macros that runs. So basically his theory is that everything is time-based, so you can watch for these kind of setups and so forth based on time. So here we are now, we're at 2 minutes after. So looking for the first gap that forms. I'm looking for a bearish gap because we're in a downward mode. So don't really want to be going long at this point, right? Very slow motion here, so you can see we're in a fourth wave, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's a rough time. See how S&P looks. Oh, haven't even looked at Bitcoin. Sorry about that. Should take a look at Bitcoin here. Okay, let me see how Bitcoin's doing from the daily standpoint. So we've been very strong on Bitcoin going up here, but also looking for a similar thing to what's happening to the NAS, because we've got this 1, 2, 3 right there. So having this 1, 2, 3 right there, we drop, and now we're chopping. So again, they might push it up to this area, perhaps to this gap, and we could see a collapse of Bitcoin here back down to 75,000. So that's a total possibility here. Going to the 4-hour, you can see our structure. We've got a nice 1, 2, 3 there. Just move up, down, and we'd be looking for them to take this high out. So that move up, and that could be it. Once we make that high, we could be coming back down to take all these guys out all the way down. So you're watching for that. So possibility of a push to take out the high still to come. Now we noticed that the NAS and the S&P couldn't do that today. They couldn't take out their high. So will Bitcoin buck the trend and do it? We'll see. We've got strong green 4-hour candles. So it's looking like it wants to make a run for it here. I've got the structure again, 1, 2, 3, 4. We were in that final leg kind of thing here, so it's a bit iffy. It's questionable if we can make that high. And they don't have to take that high. You know, they could maybe take these guys out, and that might suffice. But they could also just wick through and then come back down. So we'll see how that one plays out. We'll keep going down, 15-minute time frame. So I've got let me just get this guy up here. I've got a gap here. Continue bouncing off this gap on the 15. So on the 5, right in it. And you can see on the 5, we've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And we've pushed up, so we're in a 4th wave, looking for another leg up to take out the high. Will we get that? Drop to the 1 minute. And we're getting a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming here now. So looking pretty good here. We've got a sweep. 1, 2, 3. We've got a sweep here. Retrace back in. That could give us a push to the upside here. So possibility for an entry on this guy here. Got a gap right there. Into the middle of it. I just missed my opportunity, perhaps. I don't know if we're going to get a pullback again.
Good, thank you.
We are getting a pullback. Let me see if I can buy some Bitcoin here. I'd like them to come back down a bit more, but I don't know if they're going to or not. They might not.
What do you see happening on Tesla, Lennox?
Oh, just give me 1 second there, Peter. Let me just see if I can catch an entry here on Bitcoin. Oh, I just got stopped out of Tesla, so they come back up quite a bit, and Bitcoin's leaving me. So I'm not getting a deeper retrace. So they only retraced once, and that was enough. So we've got a breach of the high. Well, I get it. Yeah, that's a tough one now. Maybe I get another retrace here, but we'll see. Let's see Tesla. So it's getting stopped out of Tesla. Wow, interesting. Wow. Okay, so that's quite a move back up, eh? So we had, well, they did drop it quite a bit. So I had a little bit of profit going on there. I thought we'd go down and take out those lows, no problem. But, so that's a big change there. You see how it looks on the 5. So it still looks like we're going to come down, but that's quite a retrace that they just did there. It still looks like we're going to come back down. It's nasty, nasty retrace to take everybody out. To take these guys out here. And I was trying to hide it above the order block, and yet they still went up there and got me. So I had a little bit of profit there. Could have taken some off at that point. So our new trend line now moves considerably. Here we're going to be like this. Back to the high again, to this high. And our low now becomes to this guy and this guy. So it's much wider at this point. So we don't want to see them breaking above this high, that's for sure. You know, that's not good. If we want to see price coming back down again. But we do have a 1, 2, 3 here now, so we could go a little higher, certainly. That might be what they're doing here, Peter, just doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, and one push back up before they come down again.
Or they might just drop it down now.
Oh, they might just drop it down. Yeah. Let me see if Bitcoin gave me a chance to get. Yeah, so Bitcoin's come back. So there's my buy opportunity on Bitcoin now. So a little further down here. Maybe I'm being too nitty gritty here, nitpicking. I'm looking for a further drop into that gap. Should get it here because I have a 1, 2, 3 right here. So I should drop in. A little further. So it might take out this low here. The longest wait in the world. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so I'll take that trade now from almost midpoint. So they've tied that low, so they're probably going to go through it a little bit here, but and my stop would be either below the middle candle or below the low candle. So let's go with the low candle just to give it a little bit of room. Let's see if I'm correct and we can continue going back up. So I've got from here, whoops, wow, that's really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like we're done. Looks like we're done. We should be pushing back out of here again. If I'm wrong, I get taken out. Right. So let's go back to Tesla. So Tesla did do as we expected there. They pull back, take out the high. Okay, so that now we'd be looking for them to turn back to the downside. If we're wrong, they're heading straight up, right? And they're not going to turn back, but our structure says we should turn back at this point. Now we'll have a new high. Like that. So was not expecting that kind of move, Peter. Didn't think they'd be coming back to take out these highs at all.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to go straight down here. Well, so they've taken me out on Bitcoin. So that was a possibility, of course, because I might not be at the bottom. So let's see. Bitcoin. Yeah, they weren't done. So that was one possibility there that they could do that to me. So I can see that was a possibility. So, all right. So I have to wait for a new 1, 2, 3 to go back. So let's go to the 5-minute again. All right. So they've chopped through that gap now. So interesting that they've gone through that gap. There's nothing else left to hold them up. So the structure has to hold here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We should still be pushing back to the upside.
So we're going back north on NAS, it looks like. Doesn't make much sense.
That would be like an E leg.
Right now it should be on the E leg, right?
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So Bitcoin, I have to wait for a new 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, so NAS. Yeah, so did they take that low? No, they didn't take that low out. S&P take that low out? Yes. So we have divergence, big divergence here.
Yeah.
On S&P and the NAS, interesting. And you can see the difference. So it's more of one of these choppy affairs, and really choppy here. And so they're going back up, taking everybody out here and going up into that. Remember, we were looking at a 50% of this move, a possible retrace back up into that area, and then a move down. So they're doing it in a more, elongated way. So here's the first gap after 2 o'clock. So it's saying that our algo is pushing to the upside, but I'm in disagreement with it because I think it's a fake out move to the upside more so.
So we should be waiting for this E leg to finish and then take it down.
Yeah, so let's see where 50% was of this entire move to this low. So 50%, we're right there at 50% right now, right into the.
Now we are, yeah.
So this was the inverted gap. There's a gap right here. This is a regular gap here that we're into right now. Just touching it. Wow, just touched it. So that might be at the end of this move now. Very close to it anyway.
Looking for a fractal at this point.
So we could be looking for a 1, 2, 3 top here to come back down. So we can wait for the breach of the low, get a 1, 2, 3 like that, or come in on a fractal. Okay, so they're pushing up right into that gap.
Yeah, they passed 62% already.
So I think we'd be close to being done here now. Just go a little higher here on the 5 minute. So they're really pushing up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Interesting. These guys I don't need anymore. This guy I don't need. So I could actually move this guy over here. So that's the last gap. So, you know, they can retrace, of course, they can retrace up to 100%, but I don't really want to see that. So let's go back to the 1 minute. This guy's no longer necessary. So it looks like we're turning.
Well, it finally let me in.
So not much of an algo.
No.
No, so yeah, that's why I felt it's a little suspect. Looking more for a fall.
No, it hasn't even started yet, really.
Okay, so I've got a gap here, and so this would be an inverted gap here. So they push back into that gap.
And volatility is not with us. VIX is only at 17.
Okay, so looking for a retrace back up. for a sell here. Don't know if they'll make it all the way back up there or not.
Well, I got one lot taken care of.
So we're making a breach of this low already. Wow.
Theoretically, this should be just starting now. Got our 1, 2, 3. I should be looking for this.
So we did break that low just by a tad. So a retrace. I've got a couple inverted gaps here. A very tiny one there. Very tiny one. So we'll come back to there. Got a big gap here as well. Can we push back up there?
I'm looking for enough of a retrace to get some more. I can do better than that. I thought I could get him to bite for my order. I think I'm a bit too high.
You might see a quick fall here, but I'm looking for a bigger retrace, but I don't know if they're going to give it to us. Yeah.
I just pulled mine down another handle to see if I could. Yeah, they took me at a slightly lower handle. What the heck happened there? Oh, it took out my one. Okay, that's fine. Took out my first lot already.
I jumped back in on Bitcoin just to get my loss back here. So making a little bit of profit. So let's see if I can go a little higher and take a partial. Oh, that's a better move. Okay, so I'll take a little partial, make my loss back, and then see if we can continue pushing up. Okay, I don't have very many places to put my stop. It's the only thing. Can use the wick. Mid portion of the wick. Just below the low, just below middle part of the wick as my stop. keep it a little tight and see if we continue going up, because I'm not sure if they're done at this point. They could still come back down and take me out. So keep my stop small, short, tight, and see if we continue up here on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's kind of bucking the trend a little bit because we're returning to go back up, while the NAS is struggling to go
The NAS
back
is
up.
playing games with us too.
But this could be this kind of move here on Bitcoin. How is our Tesla doing? Okay, so Tesla is still struggling up there. So we're trying to come down now, eh? Slowly but surely.
You can see that on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah, they're trying to turn it back down. So they went up quite a ways here, eh? They were going for that high, but they couldn't do it. So that's quite a retrace. Was not expecting that at all, Peter. You know, this is very unusual for them to even take that out. For them to even take these guys out was amazing. Because at this point here, it looked like we were done and we were going to be heading straight down, but not to be. So new 1, 2, 3 top now. Interesting.
Okay, start.
We've got back-to-back 1, 2, 3 tops.
Yeah. So NAS is trying to fall here. So it couldn't go up any higher on the NAS. Could not make it anywhere. And so essentially they just used this gap here as the turning point to go back down. And that was it. Oops. So that was as far as they would come. So based on this move down, does Bitcoin have a chance of going up? Maybe not. You know, it might be hard pressed to get a move back up. I might have to just close out my trade with a profit and let it be.
On your NAS?
On Bitcoin.
Oh,
I'm looking for it to go higher, but I don't know if they're really going to take it much higher than where they are. I get a nice push and a nice profit, so I think I'll take it off at this point. So they're pushing up just like the NAS is right now. So got a clean profit there, but I think they're gonna drop it back down. Bitcoin made this nice push. Yeah, so they're coming back into this gap at this point here. So that might be enough for them to drop it back again, because I've got a 1-2 here. So it's looking like that's what they're doing. So I took my profit off. So made nice profit there on Bitcoin.
that's good.
Let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll leave Bitcoin alone for a bit here. NAS. All right, so NAS is trying again to come back up. So can they come back into this gap? They should. One more push into the gap again. So we're touching this gap a number of times. How many times we've touched it? 5 times already.
Yeah.
Let's make it, 5 times. So it looks like we're going to go in. They might take out this high. And that would present a good sell, because that would give us.
That high is my point too. So far, they haven't touched it again.
Okay, so they went in very quickly. Wow! So they almost took out that high. So that was so quick. You know, you have to be really one. So this is where the limit orders come in handy. You know, you set your limit order ahead of time, because trying to get in on market is very tough sometimes.
Yeah. I've kind of given up on the market orders.
Well, while I'm trying to show this, it's very tough to put a limit order in because time just doesn't. I don't have enough time to do it. So.
Oh, well, on my.
So that would have been a nice entry right there, but it was so fast. So the limit order would have been great having one.
Yeah, but if you are anticipating that, you have
Yes,
your time.
I can set it, beforehand for sure, because I'm
That's
just
pretty
looking for
much
them
what
to come back to the gap.
Don't you have an active trader on that system?
No, I don't believe so. Anyway, I haven't really delved into it too much. Like I said, I've got this short position indicator like that, so I can set that to wherever I want.
Yeah.
So that's
In the active trader, you would be seeing the where all the buys and the sells are.
so still an opportunity here to get in to go down.
Yeah. I'd like to see some movement at this point.
Yeah, it's very tepid. Not much going on here.
Up or down at the.
Not much going on here. Yeah, this is very choppy stuff.
Yeah, I can't really figure out which direction it wants to go.
So yeah, I'm expecting them to fall because we came back into this gap. So
Yeah.
it's just that unfortunately did not get an entry to catch the move. If we're going to get that move now, then that would be the move.
Well, I'm looking for 161% of my 1.2. Beginning to close in on it, but not quite.
Yeah, I was correct about Bitcoin. It doesn't want to, it's following suit with the NAS. So that expected move. So it was good to exit because they come back to the gap and starting to go back down again. But I don't really want to trade that to the downside because we might be very close to being to the bottom.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we're going to turn around and go back up or not. It's looking a bit lean for Bitcoin as well. So it's all messed up because it looked here like we were going to get this kind of move and get that move back up, but it's not happening. So they have said, no, we're not going up there. So they're coming back down to take out these lows. So the difference here is that we did get a fifth wave. We got that move and did take out the highs. Now we're getting this move. So I would still want to see a breach of this low here and then a pullback for a sell. That would be the optimum selling point there. So NAS should be coming straight down here. The S&P should be coming straight down. Tesla following suit. Tesla is bucking the trend. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, but you see, Tesla's been hammered so much.
Yeah, this is very odd. So it looked like we would have been done at this point and getting our A and our B and our C and coming down, but they're breaking the high, which is
Hey, I got my 161. Now let's see if I can get to 200%.
quite interesting here. They broke that high. Very surprising moves here on Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Because the NAS is not doing anything remotely close to that. So what's propelling Tesla here? It's doing pretty good for a stock that's for a company that's got troubles. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've broken that high.
Those are political.
Very surprising move here. Wow. Wowzer. So from our low, this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, and getting close to a top here again. It's a very surprising move. Again, I didn't even think they were going to come back up here. So quite interesting. So NAS is breaking down. So Tesla's going up, NAS is going down, S&P is going down. That's very odd behavior there. So you can see we do have a 1, 2, 3 top on the NAS. So we should continue going down, taking out these lows. We do have a gap here. Could sell it there. Quick sell. Stop above.
You selling?
Yeah, selling here. See if I can take a ride down to the bottom here. How far down are we going to go? See, 5 minutes. We've got equal lows down here. So even to that level is reasonable. That's just a quick grab. If we can make it down.
Well, I mean, you have about 90 handles down to the bottom level. That would be nice. Right now, it's trying to move slightly higher.
You see a quick drop here. This gap has to hold price back from going up. And looking like they want to take me out here maybe first. Yep. So I've got my stop above the middle candle of the gap. So should I put my stop above the high of the gap? Perhaps. So sometimes that I'm going to sell it again because I think that's probably what my problem was. I had my stop a bit too tight. So I'm going to put it above the candle that started the gap. Let's see if that helps on the second try here. Just by that much, they take me out. So
That doesn't take much.
that's why most of the time I don't even put the stop on, because they just do that so quick and get you.
Yeah, stops are like red lights to them.
Magnets. Okay, so we're getting that drop now. I don't remember where I had my stop here. Let's see. 5 minute. Yeah, that was it. Let's go a little lower. So based on our structure here, we should be falling quite a bit if we start to go. There's 1.618 way down here. So that is a likely
I hit it one.
target way down here, but that's that's a stretch at this point that we could get down there today, but you never know. And they take me out again, so that didn't work. Wow, so they came back up and took me out. Yes. Wow, so they're really playing games in here.
I think they're playing games with you, Lennox, because
Wow.
they really haven't. Well, that was the first time in a while that it got above the 62%,
Hmm.
and it quickly dropped as soon as
So they just wicked up there to take everybody out. And it
yeah.
looks like they're going to drop. I'm going to give it another shot here because I've got a fractal. So, yeah. This is just mean playing on their part there. Yeah, I'm expecting them to drop it. See if I can make those losses back here quick.
Yeah, well, if it goes down to the bottom, it'll
Yeah.
make all those losses up quickly. Now, this is the kind of move I like. It went all the way down to my 141. It's almost hit the 162. Want to go down to the 200. Almost. Keep going, baby. Ah. You don't want to turn around yet? You need to go down further.
They're going down. It's just a matter of time here.
Yep. That's a big red down candle. Then it says, well, I need a big green candle.
So Tesla should be following suit and heading down.
Looking at that in a while.
If we were wrong, you know, we're heading right back up, which is a possibility because Tesla says, I want to go up. I'm really looking for them to drop this thing. Take a good look at this again. From where we are, everything's pointing to a fall.
Yeah, it should be falling from what I can see.
Taking these lows out, dropping through, coming down to these lows here. I'm holding to that, but boy, they're making it very difficult here.
That is for sure.
So we should see Tesla turning. You got a 1, 2, 3 top on Tesla. But did they have another push to come one more time? See the 5 minutes. So we got they're trying to get up there, but I think they're going to do it.
These are big candles that we're seeing now.
Yeah, they're really messing things up here. Wow. So you see it's possible that we're not going to go through and they're going to turn it back to the upside, which is very interesting if they do that. Can't rule that out, but boy, would not be expecting that, but here they go. We come right into this gap and we're getting rejection. Let me get some of this stuff off the chart so I can see a little better.
Like that.
Yeah, it looks like they want to take me out again.
It's trying to reverse this thing. Because it went
Still
back
looking like we should be falling here, George.
Huh?
It looks like we should be falling.
Yeah, it should be.
Don't know why they would be going back up there.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like somebody's trying to put more shares up there, get them to come back up.
This gap is no longer in play. Or is it? That's an inverted gap now. So that could act as support for the move. If they're going to move back up, that could act as support here to continue up, which I don't really want to see. I want to see them come back through it. But I'm looking like I'm in deep troubles here. A little spike and they've got me again.
I think what I'm going to do is not go for it below 200 level. Whoa!
Very interesting here.
Yeah.
So we're into macro time. Right. It's taken me out 3 times in a row in here, so it's very messy here. And Tesla says they want to go right up and take out the the high, and they have. Interesting. See how the 15-minute looks on the NAS. Again, still looking heavy to the downside. So I'm seeing a huge 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, drop, move back up, drop. We should be taking these lows out. We should be coming down. Don't see us going up, but that's, you know, that's certainly possible. The way they're playing in here, they're not making it easy for anyone. So this inverted gap is holding.
I'm going to see if they can get me out of 141. And if they play the game they're doing now, I can get back in again. But I don't like this. That's what I get for being too greedy. Yeah, we're playing above the line now. So what's this look like? A, B, C, D, E. Is that bottom one E wave on this? A, B.
I'm sorry, George, what was your question?
I'm just wondering what the wave count is in this downward move we're having.
It's quite messy. It's
very, very messy.
Very messy here. It's hard to, like, I'm looking at this as a 1, 2, this whole thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be a 1, 2. However, here also is 1, 2. So this retrace is real, yes. And I want to see them come down. However, they're really pushing it.
They're getting very pushy to the outside. Right?
The only place my stop would be safe in quotes, would be here. We don't want to see them take this high.
That for you, that would be pretty high. For me, that would work.
So
let's see where this is going to go. I just pulled my target down to the 141 again.
Okay, I think Tesla has reached this high. So maybe we might start seeing the indices falling here. And Bitcoin hit the low and bounced back. So that's what I was saying. I didn't want to sell Bitcoin here, but it could have been a nice sell actually to go down. They just don't, you know, it's a tough one. We get a nice 1, 2, 3. You could sell that. Now we get a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom. You could buy that, but you have to be, you know, right on the ball and be nimble. So I'm watching too many things now. So concentrating on NAS, and NAS is saying, I'm still looking for this thing to fall here, but they're really playing games. S&P, look at how weak S&P is in comparison to the NAS. It's quite the difference. And Tesla looks like it's done. So we've got the sweep.
To your debt problems, depending on the circumstances, they can relieve up to 25, 50, 75% or more.
Got
Marshall and Associates. Visit wecanhelp.ca to find an office.
Somebody's got radio on. Oh, that was Peter. I'm gonna have to mute you there, Peter. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at a move down, move back up for Tesla, and then continuation down here. So it looks like our 5 waves are complete here. So it's looking pretty good on Tesla there for a move back to the downside. So there's a gap here. It's really nice. So we already touched it once. So they might come back one more time, perhaps. Okay, so NAS is going back up a little higher.
I'm constantly moving my limit back up just to get the heck out of the thing. Because I don't like this action.
Our 4-hour candle is in limbo. We opened, went up high, went down real low, and come back again. So we're kind of in limbo. And so you see how they've come back up.
Long limbo.
They've come right back up into the middle of this gap. Amazing. Taking out all these highs here. So now we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom.
Oh,
Another 1, 2, 3, and they're pushing back to the upside. This
is bad.
Would not be expecting that to continue up. I mean, the next high would be up here, which is just, we don't really want to see that. So I would still want to see them come down, but
Okay.
All right, we're getting some rejection there. Interesting here. This is a tricky one today.
Yeah.
Yesterday was pretty rough too.
Yesterday was absolutely terrible. It was my worst day. I mean, I was positive, but it was, peanuts.
So this inverted gap did hold as support. Interesting.
Okay, let's see if I can get. If I can get this. Come on, take me in.
Looks like they want to go higher.
I'm trying to buy it now.
Don't know if I really want to be buying it.
Well, it just went too high for me, so I have to take my trade off. Never triggered it. If it triggered it, I could have, got at least 10 handles out of it already.
Interesting.
Okay, it's at a point now where it should be contemplating going down. So I'm looking for my setup. I should just take a chance and try this. See if it'll bite. Because that retrace that we've had now looks like it's about 60%. Come on, bite it. Bite it. Cool. Missed it by 25 cents. Go try again. You know,
This is really interesting
trade in
move.
higher than that, and if it spikes it up, it takes out both of them, fine. If it doesn't, then see if I can force it to start to move higher.
Excuse me.
I did it. Isn't that amazing? Well, take the trade off.
I'm just at this is just surprising moves here. So we are heading into this gap up here based on our structure, which is quite interesting. So we're going up. If I go up to the 5-minute time frame, we have this gap here. And it looks like they want to go up into that gap. Now, will they take this high? Is going to be the question. But I'm a little bit surprised that they're even doing all this. Although not terribly. I mean, you have to be expecting anything. That kind of movement is very odd. So what's really odd about the whole thing is that we had this 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't get a fifth wave. They don't take out the high. So that doesn't give us a 5. So now we'd say, okay, this is our 5. So this would be our A, and then this would be our B leg.
Yeah.
And then we'd be looking for a move back to the downside. So this is kind of what I'm saying, but they're really messing this up in here. So it's a bit odd.
Yeah, well, I mean, that whole section that we came down on is a terrible mess.
And I look at Tesla, and we looked at Tesla and we said, oh, this was our 5, this was our A, and this is our B leg here, and now they've gone above our 5, which is fine. The B can go above our 5, and then we would be looking for that. It's very unusual for the B to go above the 5, but it does do that sometimes. So this is very odd wave here as well. Very odd stuff. So are they done now, and do we come down? Is the question at this point. So on the 1 minute, we take this high one more time. So they've gone through the gap here. We're into the order block. And it looks like they want to take that high again because we have a 1, 2 here. So I would be looking for one more push to take out the high. That would give us our structure from this point to that point. So that looks reasonable. That we should take out the high on Tesla one more time. And then I'd be looking for a sell on Tesla. So NAS, we've come into the 5-minute gap. We touched it. Is that enough for them? It might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So I'm looking for a sell on the NAS again. But if this gap can hold. I'd be looking for a sell.
Well, they took my sell, and I got 10 handles out of on the first lot. They're going back right to the beginning. They're not quite ready to come down yet. I thought they would. Let's see what they do. Wrong direction. Wrong direction. Well, thank goodness they gave me 10 handles to begin with.
Oh, they've gone right up into that.
Yep.
So they've broken the high again. Wow. Okay. So
now they're going to be
1, 2,
next high.
3, 4, 5. So right up into the midpoint of the gap. So So I don't want to see them take this high. So let's see if that's the end of the move now. This can become a resistance fair value gap at this point. So now on the 5 minute, they've come up into this gap. Don't want to see them take this high. And we have one more gap above, but we don't really want to go way up there. So, all right. So this is quite a turn of events here. When it looked like we were just going to roll over and drop, they said, nope, they want to go back up and get some more orders up here. So no problem. We'll just go play along with them.
Looks like they want to take out the prior high. It's only about 10 handles higher than the current spot. Well, maybe they're turning around sooner.
Okay, so looking like we're getting a turn here. So we can, at this point, I'm not, the fractal is great, but I'm just going to kind of wait to see if we get a change of character and a retrace and look for an entry at that point, because, yeah, so they've done it. They've broken that low. Great. So looking for a retrace now. Yeah, very
looking to go up?
Touchy stuff here.
You're looking to go up now?
No, I'm looking to go short.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have gaps. Another gap right there. Don't have to even mark that one. So we have a change of character here. So we're looking for them to retrace. And see if I can get a sell. Now they might, you see how wicked they are, eh? They can just take off now and just straight down by taking everybody out and anybody who's still going long without even giving us a retrace. So this is where the fractal comes in really handy for an entry at that point, and your risk is so small. But it's a risk because we've been in a move to the upside, but everything's looking pretty good here that we're done now. So looking for them to come back in to this gap. So I need for this candle to close first before I can really mark this gap, but let's mark it like that. So wait for this candle to close, see if we come back into the gap.
I took out my all my good limit orders, and I just got in again. Let's see where it's going to take me at this point.
All right, looking for a move back up. Short into the gap.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. And that's easily possible, but the way they're playing this game, it is questionable whether we'll get that or not. I just put a limit order in that looked halfway decent.
We're coming into 12.
Okay, I just
the
got
315 macro.
10 handles out of it so far.
Can we come back up into this gap? It looks like we're going to get there. Come on, a little higher. So they came close, but they didn't go in. Let's try again.
That's the problem.
Take a stab at it there, but I'd like to see them come back up. Might not. Give us a, I'm looking for a push back up. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, so I'm going to sell it there. Just missed.
Yeah, that's a good sell point right there.
Okay, so I sell there. I'm looking for them to drop it now. Again, if I'm wrong, they're going up to take out the highs again and continue up, which is, again, possible, but I'm looking at more higher probability moves back to the downside here. So shall see if that holds. So that gives us this will give us a nice 1, 2, 3 and continuation. And Tesla's taken out the high, as we expected that they would take out the high one more time. So that's what we expected there. So now I want to see them break this low and give us a 1, 2, 3 here to come down.
Oh, we've got, oh, you're on Tesla now, yeah, okay. Because I've got my 1, 2, 3 at this point, top.
So I got quite the run on Bitcoin. I wanted to catch the move going back up, but I never did. So that it was quite the run on Bitcoin. It's unfortunate because Bitcoin is the better play overall, you know. So after this move down, they did it really quickly, boom boom, and then 1, 2, 3 bottom entry, or this whole move, which is 5 waves, and entry, and you catch this entire move back up. So beautiful setup on Bitcoin. So I'm liking Bitcoin way better than NAS. So we're at a 4th wave now. So I'll look for entry in this area here to continue this move up in Bitcoin. So it's not too late to get in still. Yeah, NAS is just playing games here. It's still struggling to fall.
You see, the margin that I have on Bitcoin is $350,000. That's just for no, that's for 2 contracts. That's too rich for my blood. They've got a 45 spread on it, 45 handle spread.
This is quite the push up again. We do have a inverted right there. They're into that inverted gap.
Of your range.
Wow. Wow.
What the heck?
I suppose it's possible that they want to go take that high, but I really, oh man, not liking that at all. So we've got a 1-2 here, so that could be 3-4, and then we're pushing one more time to take that high out. You know, and the inside we have the 5 waves. But I'm hoping that's not so. I'm hoping this is the 5, and then we just turn and come back down here at this point, because that's what it looks like to me here. We came back into this inverted gap. It's got to hold us. Could add to my position here. I'm gonna sell some more. I think we're gonna fall here.
So the left leg down from the high to the first bottom area is 5 waves when I look at it on a tick chart. And now I have 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up. Yeah, that's right.
I need a drop here.
That's what we're looking for, yeah.
But they are playing hardball.
And the point of control is looks like it's 500 handles below the current level. What?
Wow. Still going higher.
Yeah, it still hasn't turned around yet.
My last line of defense is the order block. So
Well,
when we're going above the order block, wow, they're going to take that high. That is amazing.
because of the movement, they have to go higher because they're looking for something.
That is
I look up
astounding.
the profile, there's plenty of they've got over 2,000 that they can grab from that.
So I'm conceding and putting a stop up here, but
well over 2,000 right now. So
I have to put a stop above the high, even though I don't really want to, but just in case they decide to go through.
yeah,
So I'll take that loss, but boy, wasn't expecting that.
There's been a great deal of Trump news in the past 30 minutes here.
Oh, so this must be saying something good again.
He has the tariff set for April 2nd. He's made progress in Russia, Ukraine, Middle East, and Mexico and Canada have stepped up a lot. I'm not going to go into like the small messages, but that's the headline so far.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be taken out here for a loss, unfortunately. I'm super surprised at this kind of move here. But it's interesting that Bitcoin is bucking the trend and going up, and these guys were struggling. So quite interesting. Thanks for that, Marquis.
No worries.
Yeah, so it's back-to-back days where it's really tough going. So yesterday, Bitcoin saved me, and Bitcoin saved me today as well. Let's see if I can make some more in Bitcoin. I'm looking for a retrace on Bitcoin right now. They really play around with Bitcoin too. You know, at this point here, just make this a little bigger. They chop it up, give me a 1-2 here, and I'm looking for them to drop it one more time. They don't, and they just go straight up. So now I'm looking for them to retrace to go. So if I can get a retrace, that's a buy on Bitcoin. So the expected move here would be one more leg down. They didn't do that. So can I get a retrace? So there is a gap right here. Like that. So there's an inverted gap. So just coming back into mid-point area would be present a buy opportunity on Bitcoin. So there we go. Midpoint's good. And let's see if that gives me a nice push out. My stop can be below mid-candle. I wouldn't expect them to come all the way down there, but anything's possible, so I won't put it too tight. All right, so NAS almost took out the high. So they almost took out the high. Wow. So this can become an inverted gap. Lots of gaps here. This is from the 5-minute time frame. Do we just come straight down now? Or are they going to go one more time, take out these equal highs? But it's a possibility they take these out one more time. I've got a 1-2 here, so looks like we could go one more time, take out these highs. So my stop could be in jeopardy up there just by a wick. So we're going to hide my stop above the high because they might not take that high. But I also take a risk if I put it there that they will take that high. So it's very, very tough placing your stop.
That's called damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, and look, I just got stopped out in Bitcoin. So, oh boy, there's no winning there either. So I'm going to put my stop at the high, and I'm going to give it a little bit of room and just say, okay, that they won't come back up there just in case. They need to go back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's doing what I expected them to do, but they did it the wrong way. Well, not the wrong way, but they did it in a silly way. They went way back up and then come back down and take out the low, which is what I was expecting them to do in the first place. So very, very sneaky move there on their part. But that's how they play. So I'll jump back in on the fractal right there to go back up. All right, so I can make my money back on Bitcoin on that one. All right, NAS is doing what I'm expecting it to do, fall.
It's got to fall pretty far, though.
Gee.
Get my number back.
If we can, this gap can turn it into a, this current gap here can turn into a resistance gap. Keep us going down here. A big drop here. Half an hour to go in the day. It still can take that high out.
I don't understand why they're trying to play these kinds of games.
Yeah, see that again, we've got 1, 2. So it's just 3, 4. And we didn't come in here. So looking good for them to take out the high. So the question is now, do they take out this high, which is likely. So I put my stop above the high, and that hopefully they won't go up all the way up there. So just need a sweep here, and then we could come down. But boy, oh boy, they are good. They are very good today. You're not making it easy. Hence the reason this is not for the faint of heart. So they've taken out both highs.
Oh, wow.
So now, am I safe up there? Or are they going to go for
That's
that
the
high?
question. Are we safe up here?
What's Tesla doing? Tesla's still going up. Wow. So Tesla, we broke above the high. Looked like we might get a 1, 2 here to come down. Instead, they say, nope, we're going to continue going. So where are they going at this point? 30-minute, hourly, 4-hour. So next stop is this high. Wow. That's possible. So very strong here.
Yeah, they're into strength right now. They're seriously contemplating that top. Yep. Here we
Oh,
go.
wow, they're going up for that to take me out up there and taking out that high. No way. That is just
Here we go.
ruthlessness if they take me out. So they look like this is another gap up here that is unfilled. Let's see. Wow.
So far, they missed
So
that.
they're going for this gap. That's amazing. That's the last gap up here on this. So very choppy move here, but they're really chopping it up. So I'm very close to being taken out. I'm not going to move my stop. I'll leave it there, suffer the loss. Because if they take that high, I'm doomed. We're right into that gap. Will we stay in it or go through it? Looks like we're going to go through it.
We're trying to turn down right now.
Very
It's
super.
only an attempt. I mean, it's.
So that would be a good spot to stop without going through. But that is amazing. But it looks, they're so close here. It looks like they easily could take that just to take everybody out. Yep, that's it. They took me out. So that wasn't safe. Or at least if it was safe, I didn't put it high enough. I might have not put it high enough.
Oh, I
Change
think
of character. Very close there. So if they're going into the next gap, it looks like very close to it. interesting moves here. I would not have expected them to do this, what they did. So they come right into the middle of the gap, fight the move. All right, so I'm looking for a sell again, still up here to come back down. So our structure is basically complete at this point now. So very interesting moves here today. The last gasp is this gap, order block. Can we turn down now? So if we're going to turn down, we need a 1, 2, 3 top in here. And on that note, give me 1 second, 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yep. We have seen some wild swings today. Wow. Next high is over 10 handles up.
Okay. All right. So looking for that 1, 2, 3 top now. And we have 10 minutes before macro time. Get rid of all this stuff off the chart. So we need a breach of the low here. That's if this is going to hold as our high. We came right to the very top of the gap. That's very interesting. Exactly to the top.
Mm-hmm.
9 minutes before macro. So at this point, looking at the overall move for so far today, this afternoon, all our liquidity is sitting down here now. So you would think that that would be the way we would go in the end here. But there's also liquidity here and above here. So would they consider this low-hanging fruit and go for those rather than coming back down? So it should be interesting here in a few minutes. So looking for a 1, 2, 3 top. We've got a nice 1, 2, 3 top set up right now. How is Tesla doing at this point? Tesla's not turning at all. Very strong. Still going. Trying to turn a little bit. Okay, they've taken out the high. Wow, interesting. So they sweep the high. So definitely looking for a breach of this low here now for sure. Our 4-hour candles are very strong. So it would seem plausible that they could be heading for this high here on the previous 4-hour candle. Possibly. But they did try, but they couldn't go up there. So will they try again at this point? 6 minutes before the macro kicks in.
And they're waiting for that too.
Going higher again. Wow. So we get a sweep. Is that enough? Or are they going to go higher? So only Bitcoin saving me again today. Bitcoin's giving me nice profits, so I'll hang in there with Bitcoin. My losses on NAS.
$15 fell.
5 minutes to go for the macro. S&P is very strong. but very choppy area. They're chopping it all up. Has more of a stretch to get back up here. Tesla's still going. Wow, amazing.
It's like Tesla's leading the way.
NAS is trying to get out of that gap. Bitcoin is doing me a nice favor and going up beautifully. So very good on Bitcoin. NAS is trying to take that high. Oh my. So they really played us again today. It really looked like we were going to fall, and they turned it around. Very odd shape here. So do we come back down, or do they just go and take out the high and that's it? So yesterday, remember what they did? They kind of took out. I was expecting them to take out the low first and then go up, but they didn't take out the low. They just went straight up. So I would be expecting them, since they come up all this way now, I would expect them to take out this high and then drop it. But let's see if they do that, or they might just continue straight through to the upside, because this is very strong right now into the close. Very interesting. Most interesting here today. But thanks to Bitcoin, I've made all my losses back on NAS. It's great. Bitcoin's really rocking here.
So much for going lower, huh?
Very interesting. We got 1 minute before macro, so I can't even sell this because it's too much of a risk to sell at this point. Yes, they could drop it back down, but they could scream back up as well. So I'm not even going to bother to try to sell it at this point. As much as I want to sell it, because I still think they're going to come down and take out these lows, it might just be, I got 10 seconds to make a decision. Do I really want to jump in and sell, or just leave it alone? So very tempting sell. But is it just a fake and then they go back up? Or do they seriously continue down to take out the lows?
is strange.
I got to leave, Lennox.
Okay,
All right, Peter.
Yeah, I cut my short and I went long, so I did well.
Good. Yeah, you had
Good night, Peter.
had to go with them.
God bless. See you a bit later.
Yeah, I just got out of my long position.
Excellent. Glad you caught it.
Yeah, well,
I had to use Bitcoin to save me.
well, I switched to the 5 minute. You could see the myriad of 1, 2, 3 bottoms.
Yes. Yeah, they really fooled us here. It looked like we were going to turn to the downside for sure, but there's no for sure in this game.
No,
So you see at this point here, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to turn it and drop it down, take all the lows, but they're not doing that. So low hanging fruit is this high here. So maybe that's what they're going for. That's why I didn't really want to sell it, even though I felt that they might come down.
See you tomorrow.
All right, Peter, take care. So Bitcoin's paid huge dividends here for me. This nice move. So catch the 1, 2, 3 on Bitcoin, and made up for all the losses and all that stuff. And so they're pushing NAS still higher. So they're going for that
no
high.
high.
Yeah, they're going for the high. Interesting. So my structure, looking at my structure from this point, we come through this fourth wave, and it looked like
So little
this
volume.
point that we were done. It looked like we were done here. We would get A, B, C, and come down even before then, even in this area here. But they're gunning for that high. Amazing. So it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 if they take the high, and that would be 5, and that still gives us more room to go higher.
Problem is, I'm not seeing any volume up there.
I want to see where they're going to. Where are they going to? They, the next stop is this gap up here. And that's quite a ways up. So if this is a fake out move, which is, again, it does definitely look like it is, and quite the fake out,
Then they'll just
inducing everybody to go long.
They're 5.
Yeah, this is quite a move to the upside here, that, to induce everybody to go long. There's a big gap here. So it's already been partially mitigated. That's why I drew the gap that way. So they can go right up into that, and then we'll get that drop. I'm still looking for them to bring it down. But they're very good. So equal highs here. It looks like we'll take those out. So lots of thanks for Bitcoin. Otherwise, it'd been a rude day. We've got gap here. Totally taken out. Sweep the highs. Is that will that be it, or do we still go higher?
I don't know what the heck you're going to find up there.
That'll be it here. Let me come back down. A couple minutes before the close.
Well, the NAS will still be open though.
Oh, got stopped out of Bitcoin for a nice profit, so it's all good. Bitcoin was very good. They come back down on Bitcoin a little bit here. A bit, quite a bit actually. Didn't think they would do that much, but they did. So got a gap here. Can always get back in again to continue the march to the upside. So we're in a fourth wave now, so it's a little iffy getting in at this point, but NASDAQ's taking out the highs. So is that enough for them at this point now, and we turn back, or do they still continue pushing higher? So you can see the 4-hour candles are very strong. So and they were going to take out the previous 4-hour candle high. They did. So do we continue pushing higher into the next level, or is that enough at this point? So the next level says this gap up here. That's all we have. So it's quite a ways to get up there. 327 to 500 about. So 175 points, 75 handles to get up there. So it seems quite a stretch for them to be pushing it back up here, but anything's possible. And they're still going. Wow. What's our time? 1:03. So right at the close, they pushed it up a little bit more. So puts us into a little closer to this gap. Interesting. Look at how S&P is struggling to do what NAS did. It's so different. So S&P cannot even remotely get up there. So the struggles on S&P is pinpointing, pointing to a collapse. But at the NAS says no, I'm super strong and I'm going up there. But it's like they're faking everybody to do this. Tesla is so strong as well here. So we could see a big drop tomorrow morning in the open on Tesla, because overnight here it's looking like we should be turning back to come down. S&P is really struggling here to make this breaking that high now finally, but quite the struggle. So it'll be a struggle to get up here on S&P. Let's see how it looks on the 15. Okay, so trying to make heads or tails of this here. So it's looking like finished. Get our A, get our B, which shouldn't take out this high, which would give us divergence compared to the NAS, which has taken out that high. So the NAS took out the high, so that gives us divergence. So that's probably what the ploy is. My expectation is that they wouldn't take out this high at all, or even this high, and then drop it down. That was my expectation, but you see what they're doing on S&P. S&P is doing what my expectation is. Not as, not perfectly, but they did take out this high, and I'm looking for them to come down. So I think we're going to get a collapse. So I just jumped back into Bitcoin and just making a killing here on Bitcoin. So I'm going to take some. I'm going to close the position. Actually, that's a nice profit there. So that's almost $9,000 profit right there. So I jumped back in on that pullback. Jump back in right in there and caught this move. So beautiful move on Bitcoin's just been doing exactly what I'm expecting it to do. So they came up nice 1-2, chopped it up and down in here, give us a nice 1-2-3 bottom, up we go, back, up we go. So this is doing as expected. Unlike NASDAQ, which is a little bit odd. Still going strong though. Go back to S&P. Well, S&P is trying, but I think we're going to end up with divergence here. More than likely something like that. And that's diverging this way. Will they have a chance of taking out that high? Probably not. So good exit on Bitcoin as they came right back down. But we still continue here. Another push up, take out the highs, I would think. So Bitcoin's got really nice moves here, and looking like they want to go and take out that high up there possibly. We've got these intermediate highs in here. Those are next. And then one last high up here. So looking pretty good for Bitcoin, even though I thought Bitcoin could follow suit with the indices and come down as well. So it's doing one more push higher, and then we look for it to turn back down as well. And they might take out that high, or they might not. It looks pretty good though for them to take both.
Were they just closing trading at this point, or what?
I think that's about it, eh? We're at 10 minutes after, so the macro is complete. So the macro today, they faked it like they were going to drop it. So that could have been an entry to go long, but it's a tough one. So yeah, then they move it up. So very.
What are they going to do for the next?
So overnight.
Well, when do they close this?
Oh, they don't close till around one.
Another
4:30 or thereabouts. Yeah, 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they open up again at 6. So very strong 4-hour candles here. So three greens in a row, and a likely scenario again is that they might continue pushing up into Asia here, into this gap up here. That's totally possible, but that would be quite a push. But it still does not violate the structure that I'm looking at. This move, this chop, and move up, and then a drop. So still looking for that possibility. I didn't think they'd go up that high though. I thought this was it. That's why I was looking for this drop here. So I'm a little bit early perhaps into, yeah, I'm definitely a little early into this drop. So, all right, so another day. Is done. And I appreciate everyone dropping in and hanging with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Marquis, thank you, sir. Stacy, if you're still there, thank you. Armin?
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. I'll catch you guys.
Thank you, Marquis. You're very quiet, Marquis.
Yeah, just focusing.
Thank you.
Try not to lose too much money.
Yeah, I hear you. That's the name of the game. Don't lose. Good stuff.
All right. We'll see you a bit later. God bless you
All right,
guys.
we'll
Catch you guys
chat
tomorrow.
Thanks, George.
Take care now.
Have a good rest of the day. All right.